welcome back to Cooking with Lynn. I hope you've been enjoying the videos. I've been doing them for quite some time now, all through the pandemic, and continuing to do them because people seem to be enjoying them. So back again, baking again this time. I am making pumpkin bars. It's more like a pumpkin cake, but it's called pumpkin bars, so that's what we're calling it. It's a nice Thanksgiving dish, good for this time of the year. Pumpkin and spices and all that good stuff that everybody's enjoying in the fall. We're having a really fallish day, I guess you could say. It's very windy and leaves are everywhere and everything looks like a mess. But I'm indoors and I'm going to bake, so it's all good. Alright, so what do you need? The usual for baking, so flour, sugar, cinnamon, baking powder, baking soda. The recipe will be posted. Pumpkin, 4 eggs, vanilla, and oil. So basically you're baking a cake in essence, and as with most cakes, when you're baking you do the sugar and the oils, all the wet stuff together, and then all the dry stuff together, and then you put them together. And so we're just going to do that, and then we'll get it in the oven and we'll get it frosted, and you'll see how fluffy and moist and yummy it is, and you'll want to make it too. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is get my sugar. Thing weighs a ton. So, you know, eggs and sugar, so the wet ingredients. I know sugar is technically a dry ingredient, but it always gets incorporated into the wet, so because you're creaming it together and getting that sugar dissolved, so you don't get grittiness in your cake or whatever you're making. So eggs also should be at room temperature. The frosting is cream cheese, so that needs to be at room temperature along with the butter. So you want to take that out. So you want to think ahead when you're making something like this, because you want everything at room temperature. It just mixes better. I mean, it's not like you can't make it if it's not at room temperature. It just mixes better. So I'm going to start with the eggs. It's 4 eggs. Get that in there. I already dropped one on the floor while I was getting ready, so that was an unpleasant surprise. They do roll if you don't mind them while they're on the counter. Seem to have a mind of their own. So we've got 4 eggs, and I'm going to get my pumpkin in there. It's a whole can of pumpkin. Put that in there. I'm using my stand mixer, but obviously you don't have to have a stand mixer. You can see me. Stand mixer, and see how much oil do I need? A cup, and 1 2/3 cups of sugar. I'm going to get it everywhere because that's what I do. That's good enough, close enough. Put that in there. Oil. Watch, this is a new bottle, and I bet you I'm going to struggle to get it open. Oh, there's no thing. Good. Sometimes that little thing they have on the top, they can't get that off. These little tabs, doesn't come off. I always need a knife. So 1 2/3. Get that in there. Nope. 1. Mixing up my ingredients, it's 1 cup of oil and 1 2/3 cups of sugar. That could have been bad. See, when you're talking and not paying attention, get mixed up. Sugar is next. That's 1 2/3. That's 1 2/3. Not the oil. Stay focused. It's really windy and crazy out there today. There's no power where I work at the library, and so I'm home for the duration. So there's 1, and then I'll get 2/3. Do this. I didn't want to stick the other one in there because it had oil on it. That's 1/3, and this is 2/3. Alright. Okay, so get that out of the way, and then we'll get that going, and then we'll get the vanilla in there. Just get it mixed up real good so it's nice and smooth. I have a 13x9 pan that I have sprayed, and I also put parchment in it. This is not the kind of cake that you turn out, although you could. You have to flip it back over, but you can serve it right in the right in the in the pan, just frost the top and serve it in there. So I only frost the top of this one anyway, so, but I am going to lift it out. It's just a little easier to cut into bars if it's lifted out, so, and I actually don't usually do that, so I hope it goes well. I usually just frost it and serve it in there. I'll give it a try. I hope you can hear me over this noisy mixer. Get the vanilla in there, just a teaspoon. All the wet this together. Good. And now I gotta get a bowl because I always forget something. I gotta put my dry in something. Alright, so dry ingredients. I need 2 cups of flour. So I'm gonna use my half cup just because that one's kind of yucky. So I need obviously 4 of these. And I'm going to sift it because it's kind of lumpy. I don't know why my flour is lumpy, but it is. I'll just sift it so that it gets all the lumps out and make sure that it's nice and smooth. This can be a little tedious, but a lot of times when you see people baking, they either sift or they have those little things, sifter, whatever. I don't have one of those. And one more. Was 4, wasn't it? Oh, brother. Alright, that got all the lumps out. And then we'll sift the rest in there. Let's get rid of this. I gotta check my cheat sheet to make sure I get all the ingredients right. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. You can put nutmeg in there too if you want. Get those. That nice warm pumpkin pie thing going. And we've got a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, yeah, soda and powder. I don't want to mix those 2 up. This is baking soda, so I only need 1 of these. I sometimes get those not confused, but just mixed up when I'm measuring, if that makes any sense. And then 2 of baking powder. So, really not a good idea to do it over the bowl, but whatever. Just being careful. And then some salt. Always salt. Even in sweet things, 1 teaspoon. Alright, I think we're good. So I didn't sift it all together, but just kind of mix it up. You can just whisk it together. If you don't even have a sieve, that's fine too. Just to get it all mixed up. And then all you're going to do, easy peasy, just like any other cake, is put them together. So let's see, something to kind of, you want to do it slowly, otherwise you're going to be wearing everything. Turn the mixer on and get that in. And just let it slowly incorporate. And it can't be easier. Really, a lot of these things are ingredients you would have in the house anyway. You throw this together in no time. Probably the only thing you might not have would be a can of pumpkin, but I always grab a couple cans this time of the year because it's pumpkin season. So in there. Alright. I'll let that go a little bit. And then we'll scrape it down, let it go again a little bit light. This is an older mixer and it doesn't always get everything that's right at the bottom. Some of the newer mixers have better paddles and they scrape the bottom. So you always want to kind of get in here and scrape the bottom. So now, make sure everything got incorporated. You can see there's a don't know if you can see, but there's stuff all over the sides, and I don't know, the older ones, don't always reach the bottom. You always want to get in there. I hate it when I'm dumping the cake, the batter into the pan, and then you find all these ingredients on the bottom that didn't get mixed. So always want to scrape that down, just to be sure. Oh, see, look at all over the place. Give it a little bit more of a once over. Good. So it's just going to go in my prepared pan. The oven's on 350, and it's going to go in there for 30 minutes. And hopefully it'll rise and be all nice and fluffy. Yummy. Hello. Oh, here we go. See, look at that. Doesn't want to come off for some reason. Seriously, what is happening? Okay. Just take this out from under it, and then it'll drip all over the place. Swap out. And I got a little bit of flour that fell off the top there, so just get that in there. Nice and smooth. Smells yummy. The house will smell yummy in a little while. Guessing you can see what I'm doing. Alright, that looks good. I have it all over me as usual. So I've got it in parchment, so I should be able to just lift that right out. Alright, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna get that in the oven. I'll see you back here in a few minutes, and we'll be getting ready to frost it. We'll make the frosting and we'll get it frosted. See you in a bit. Alright, I'm back. Got it out of the oven, and I let it cool for a little bit, and then I pulled it right out with this little piece of parchment. Came out perfect. So now I'm going to make the frosting and finish it up. Alright, so frosting. It's just a basic cream cheese frosting. So I've got a softened brick of cream cheese going in. Stick the butter going in. And I need 2 cups of confectioner's sugar, powdered sugar. It's just that easy. You can frost it with whatever you want. Obviously, you could just dust it with powdered sugar or any other kind of frosting that you have, or a ready-made frosting. You want to make it easy. I think the stores even sell cans of cream cheese frosting. So shortcuts are okay. And so 2 cups. So I don't frost the whole cake. I just frost the top and cut it like bars so you can pick it up and eat it. Alright, that should do. I'll get that going until it's nice and smooth. Start it on low so you don't get a cloud of powdered sugar. And hopefully my butter is soft enough and my cream cheese is soft enough. You don't want melted butter. You just want room temperature butter. Same thing with the cream cheese. Ooh. Let that get all nice and smooth. Then we'll add in our vanilla. Just a teaspoon. See how quickly that came together? I don't know if you can see. Hopefully you can. Again, we'll kind of scrape down the bottom just to make sure there's no leftover sugar or whatever at the bottom. It's a good consistency. Oh, come on. Try not to get it all over myself, but you know. Yummy. That's good. Grab my offset spatula. about powdered sugar is you don't get that gritty consistency. You don't really have to, you just want it to get incorporated. You don't have to worry about dissolving it like you do regular sugar. I couldn't get the thing off before because I wasn't doing it right. Goodness in there. Alright, so just gonna drop it on the top. Probably gonna have too much, really. Do something else with the rest. And then you could use this recipe for pumpkin muffins or cupcakes, whatever you want to call them. Put it in different, round pans or, whatever, just like any other cake, really. Spread it a little bit thick. And then more. These are yummy and they're always a favorite at the holidays. I make them pretty much every year. And they're delish. So it took a little bit longer than 30 minutes. Everybody's oven is a little different. It took like 33 minutes. So, if it's not done, you do the toothpick test. Don't stick it in there for 10 more minutes. Just give it, increments of 2 or 3 minutes because, baking it can go from not done to overdone in no time. So, a little bit more. And then you can finish it off. Put some, some fall decorations on it. Maybe some candy corn if you like that sort of thing, or just maybe dust some, shave some chocolate over it. I'm going to put some walnuts on the top. So what I'm going to do after is cut them and put them on a plate. But I'm just going to sprinkle some nuts. So I toasted some walnuts. Toast your nuts if you're going to use nuts. Please, they taste better. Just in a dry pan on medium till you can kind of smell the oils and know that they're done. Don't burn them. And then I just chop them up. And I'm just going to sprinkle them over the top. Make it look finished and pretty. And you never have too much counter space. You never have enough. Just kind of sprinkle that over the top. And then cut one. This is still a teeny bit warm, but it was definitely cool enough to frost. You always want to let it cool thoroughly before you frost it because the frosting will just slide off. Be no good. Just cut a little piece. Yeah, it's definitely cool enough. Very, very moist. Yummy. It's so good. It's not too sweet. The cake itself and the cream cheese frosting just adds a little extra sweetness. It's so good. And I think that's probably what people like about it. At the holidays, we always have way too many desserts, and some of them are super sweet. And this one's just nice. It's light and it's not super, super sweet. So give it a try. Check it out. Check out my other videos. I got another baking video coming in November, and cornbread sausage stuffing coming also in November. So come back and check it out again, and check out the other stuff the library's doing on our webpage, cumberlandlibrary.org, and our YouTube page. I'll see you soon.